The alien woman was very scared me, but she smiled when I reached out to her. I found her in the ruins of what had once been a thriving alien city. Buildings that once reached the clouds now lay shattered across the ground like broken bones. The silence there was heavy. It was a kind that settled deep into the soul and made every footstep feel like an intrusion. She was crouched behind a piece of fallen wall. Her skin shimmered faintly in the dim light of the twin moons above, and her eyes were wide with fear. I had not meant to frighten her, but she had no way of knowing that. She only knew I wore the uniform of the side that had come in ships and fire. I raised my hands and stepped back slowly. She flinched, and her gaze darted toward the wreckage around her. I could tell she was trying to decide whether to run or disappear entirely. She was breathing fast, and her shoulders trembled. I took off my helmet and dropped it to the ground. It landed with a soft thud. I stepped forward again, but only a little. She did not run, but her eyes followed every move I made. She was very scared of me. I could feel her fear as if it had its own pulse. Still, I reached out my hand to her. She looked at it, then at my face, and then at the sky. For a long moment, there was nothing but stillness between us. Then she smiled. It was a kind of smile that carried more than emotion. It was survival. It was hope that had been buried beneath rubble and sorrow. It was a first step out of fear. She reached out her own hand. Her fingers touched mine. We sat there for a while not speaking. I did not know her language, and she did not know mine. But we did not need words in that moment. Later, I learned her name was Selah. We began to understand each other over time. She would point at things and say their names. I would repeat them and give her the words we used for the same things. Sky, stone, fire, water. She would laugh sometimes when I got it wrong. I would laugh too. It became a kind of game. A quiet exchange in a place still soaked with sorrow. Selah showed me how she survived after her world had fallen. She had a small shelter hidden beneath the ruins. She had stored food and tools. She showed me how to find clean water using moss and light. I showed her how to signal with broken tech and how to stay hidden from the drones still flying above. We built a kind of peace together. Each day, we cleared more of the rubble around the shelter. Each night, we sat by the small fire and shared stories we could not fully understand. She would draw shapes in the dirt, and I would mimic them. I would trace maps, and she would nod or shake her head. We created meaning one line at a time. As weeks passed, she stopped flinching when I moved too quickly. She stopped hiding when I stood guard. She began to trust that I was not there to hurt her. One night, she took a glowing stone from her bag and placed it between us. It pulsed with light. She touched it, and a soft voice came from it. A recording, a lullaby maybe, or a message from someone lost. She did not say. She simply listened, and I listened too. She pressed a stone to her chest, then handed it to me. I held it carefully. She pointed to the sky, then to herself, then to me. You and me, she was saying. You and me under the same stars. Something changed after that. We began to work toward something more than survival. We began to search the ruins for a long-range signal booster. I told her using gestures that there might still be ships above the atmosphere. Maybe rescue, maybe return, maybe something better than hiding in ash and broken stone. We found parts scattered through the wreckage, broken panels and old comms, power cells still flickering. She knew how to fit things together in a way I did not. She taught me, and I helped her. Side by side, no longer enemies, no longer afraid. One day the signal booster sparked to life. We sent a pulse, a beacon, no words, just a sound that said, "Here we are." Then we waited. 2 days passed, then 3, then a week. Then we heard it, a return signal. Weak but real. We did not know who had sent it, friend or foe. rescue or threat. But we had decided already that we would face it together. The day the ship arrived, we stood on the edge of the clearing. Sayla stood tall beside me. She held my hand. We watched as the light from above grew brighter. They came down in silence. They were not from my side, not from hers. They were explorers from a neutral world untouched by the war. They asked who we were. Sayla answered with her name. I answered with mine. They looked at us, two survivors, two strangers bound not by blood or race, but by the decision to reach instead of strike. We were offered passage off the planet. I asked Sayla if she wanted to go. She nodded slowly. We left the broken world behind. The stars looked different from above. Brighter maybe. Or maybe I was just seeing them with new eyes. We were brought to a new place. A quiet world with wide skies and blue trees. A place meant for recovery. We were given food and shelter. We were given peace. Sayla and I stayed close. We continued to learn. We built a small home with our own hands. We planted things in the soil. We watched them grow. Sometimes she would find glowing stones and record her own messages. Sometimes I would play music I remember from home. We would listen in silence. One night, she smiled and placed her hand on my chest. Alive, she said. Then she touched her own heart. Alive. I repeated the word back to her. And we stood there beneath the stars that no longer felt cold.